My dear viewers, it's 3 p.m. here in Cairo. Time to have a look at the news bulletin from Channel 2. My name is Alan Mukhtar. I have all the pleasure to be joined with my colleague Reem Tamir. Hello, Reem.
Hello, Amal. Welcome, dear viewers, and we start right away with the headlines. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi heads to Rio de Janeiro to participate in G20 summit. On behalf of President al-Sisi, Prime Minister Madbouli witnesses the inauguration of the 28th International Conference for Technology. "26 Palestinians killed in Israeli occupation airstrikes across Gaza."
Welcome back. The news in detail. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi heads on Sunday to Rio de Janeiro to participate in the G20 summit scheduled on the 18th and 19th of current month upon an invitation of his Brazilian counterpart Lula da Silva. The summit will tackle priority issues for developing countries, especially fighting poverty and hunger, as well as reforming global governance. President al-Sisi is due to deliver President al-Sisi's speech at the summit's sessions that will review Egypt's development efforts and challenges of developing countries to achieve sustainable development. President al-Sisi will shed light on regional situations and the region's crises with the continued Israeli aggression in Palestine and Lebanon, as well as Egypt's efforts to restore stability in the Middle East region. This is Egypt's fourth participation in the group's summits, following its participation in the Chinese Presidency Summit in 2016. Japanese Summit is in 2019 and the Indian Summit in 2023. This reflects the great appreciation for Egypt's international stance and its pivotal role in regional level.
On behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli witnessed the inauguration of the 28th round of the International Conference and Exhibition for Technology in the Middle East and Africa. Cairo ICT, also known as the International Technology Fair and Forum for the Middle East and Africa, is taking place at the Egypt Exhibition Center in New Cairo from November 17th to 20. Themed The Next Wave, officials said the exhibition will showcase cutting-edge innovations and explore future trends. The exhibition anticipates a dynamic event with expectations of over than 114,000 visitors, more than 400 exhibitors, and hundreds of speakers. Discussions cover artificial intelligence, machine learning, the impact of AI on data centers, smart city development, cybersecurity, satellite technology advancements, cryptocurrencies, and cloud computing. Officials said that the exhibition and conference act as a hub for discovering emerging technologies, engaging with industry leaders, and participating in interactive demonstrations.
Palestinian Civil Defense said today that Israeli occupation airstrikes have killed at least 20 people, including 4 women and 3 children across the war-torn Gaza Strip. Details in the following.
Strikes by the Israeli occupation army killed at least 20 people in Gaza on Sunday, while also hitting Hezbollah near Beirut's international airport. In the latest violence in Gaza, the Palestinian Civil Defense Service said that brutal Israeli airstrikes killed at least 20 people, including 4 women and 3 children. A year after the Israeli occupation war in Gaza was triggered, Israelis vowed to stop the resistance from regrouping in the north of the Palestinian territory and launched a major assault on them. The civil defense spokesman said that the deadliest strike on Sunday killed 10 people in the Bureij refugee camp in central Gaza, where another strike on a house claimed the life of a woman. He said that an Israeli drone strike killed 5 people in the southern city of Rafah, adding that another strike killed 3 women and a child in the Nusayrat camp. Gaza's health ministry on Saturday said that the overall death toll in more than 13 months of war on Gaza had reached 43,799. According to ministry figures, the majority of the dead are civilians, which the UN considers reliable. On the Israeli second front in the north, several strikes hit Hezbollah's South Beirut stronghold shortly after the Israeli occupation army warned people to evacuate. Further south, the Lebanese state-run national news agency reported that overnight Israeli airstrikes and shelling hit the flashpoint town of Khiam. The Israelis have escalated their bombing of Lebanon since September 23 and have since sent in ground troops following almost a year of limited cross-border exchanges of fire begun by Hezbollah in support of the Palestinians in Gaza.
3 were arrested after 2 flares landed near Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence in the central town of Caesarea. Israeli policy said on Sunday the 3 were arrested overnight for their involvement in the incident that took place on Saturday night. The police added in a statement that the suspects would be interrogated jointly with the Shin Bet Internal Security Agency. Earlier, 2 flash bombs were fired towards Netanyahu's home in the northern town of Caesarea and fell into the garden. Neither Netanyahu nor his family were present and there was no damage reported. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said that the incident crossed all red lines.
An Israeli strike hit South Beirut today, where the military said it targeted Hezbollah hours after the Hezbollah said it fired on Israeli bases around the city of Haifa. A column of smoke rose over the capital's southern suburbs following a warning from the Israeli military for residents to evacuate 3 areas. Further south overnight, Israeli airstrikes and artillery shelling hit the flashpoint southern town of Khiam, some 6 kilometers from the border. The bombardment came after Israel's military have reported heavy rocket barrage on Haifa late Saturday and said synagogue was hit, wounding 2 people. Israel has escalated its bombing of Lebanon since September 23rd, has since sent it in ground troops following almost a year of limited cross-border exchanges of fire.
The Houthi forces in Yemen attacked the vital target in Israel's Red Sea port city of Eilat with a number of drones. Houthis military spokesperson Yahya Sari made a statement on Saturday. The Houthis have launched dozens of attacks in the Red Sea area since November in solidarity with Palestinian civilians in the brutal Israeli genocide war in Gaza Strip. Sari said in a televised speech that those operations will not stop until the Israeli genocide war stops. The siege on the Gaza Strip was lifted and the aggression on Lebanon stops. Both the United States and Britain have carried out airstrikes on Houthi targets in Yemen since February. The overall death toll in more than 13 months into the Israeli genocide war had reached 43,799 Palestinian civilians.
Russia have unleashed its largest wave of airstrikes on Ukraine in almost 3 months on Sunday, firing 120 missiles and 90 drones in a sweeping attack that killed at least 7 people and caused severe damage to power system, officials said. Ukrainians have been bracing for weeks for an attack on hubs energy system, fearing crippling damage that would cause long blackouts as winter sets in the ramp up pressure at a critical moment in the war launched by Russia in February 2022.
Super Typhoon Mani slammed into the Philippines' most populous island on Sunday, with the National Weather Service warning of flooding, landslides and huge waves as the storm sweeps across the archipelago nation. Mani was still packing maximum sustained winds of 185 kilometers per hour after making its first landfall late on Saturday. More than 1.2 million people fled their homes ahead of Mani as the weather forecaster warned of a life-threatening impact from the powerful storm.
Now with the economy news, as Egypt's stock market indices collectively went up at the start of trading on Sunday. The benchmark EGX 30 index have jumped 0.8%. EGX 70 index for small and medium businesses gained 0.23%. The broader EGX 100 index added 0.20%.
The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum wrapped up after 2 days of meetings in Lima after discussing the strategies of the region's major economies. Chinese President Xi Jinping wrapped himself in the banner of globalization this week, inaugurating a massive megaport in Peru that promises to become South America's biggest shipping hub, and using his speeches to reject protectionism. In Xi's summit address, the Chinese leader urged APEC members to tear down the walls impeding the flow of trade and criticized tariffs, which U.S. President-elect Donald Trump threatens to levy on Chinese imports, as going back in history.
Now with the sports news, as Egypt's national squad have continued training today in preparation for the 6th and final round 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Botswana. The record 7 times champions will play Botswana at the Air Defence Stadium at 5 p.m. Cairo local time on Tuesday. The Pharaohs have already sealed a place in the tournament finals due to be held in Morocco after the 3 straight winning streak in the previous qualifying rounds over Group C rivals Cape Verde, Botswana and Mauritania. Taking home advantage, Egypt will seek to cement the position on top of Group C after collecting 13 points in 5 qualifying rounds.
France's defender Lucas Digne said that his team will be out to avenge their defeat from earlier this year when they take on Italy in a UEFA Nations League clash at the San Siro in Milan today. Italy secured a 3-1 comeback win in Paris when the teams met in September in the Nations League, a Group 2's opening game. Italy topped the group with 13 points from 5 games, 3 ahead of second-placed France, who played out a lackluster 0-0 draw with Israel on Thursday. Both teams have already sealed their spots in the quarter-finals scheduled for March.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of the news bulletin from Channel 2. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I was in the company of my dear colleague Reem Tamer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amal. Thank you, dear viewers. Stay tuned for more updates on the top of the hour, and thank you for watching.